what cavemen really ate, and why you probably couldn't handle it. We live in a world where food is packaged, sanitized, and neatly labeled. But imagine a life where eating meant cracking bones for marrow, roasting bugs over fire, or slurping brain matter from a skull. Sounds extreme? For our prehistoric ancestors, it was survival. Today, we're digging into what early humans actually ate, and how their bizarre, brilliant diet helped shape who we are. Calories weren't guaranteed. Every single one had to be earned, tracked, hunted, cracked, or dug up. One of the earliest superfoods, bone marrow. Ancient humans would store animal bones, skins still on, and save them like nature's version of canned goods. At sites like Cavemen Cave in Israel, bones were found deliberately preserved, sometimes weeks after the animal had died, just so they could access that rich, fatty marrow. It's high in calories, essential fats, and brain-boosting nutrients. And yeah, it was sucked right from the bone, like soup through a straw. Brains weren't waste. They were premium fuel. Animal skulls brought back to camp weren't for trophies. They were food containers, too. Crack them open, and you'd find nutrient-rich brain matter full of omega-3 south. Essential for brain growth, especially in children. Researchers now think that this was a huge factor in the evolutionary leap toward our big, energy-hungry brains. So while it might gross you out today, those ancient brain snacks helped create the brains we now use to cringe at the idea. Let's talk insects. If you're imagining prehistoric humans gagging on bugs, think again. They chose to eat them, and for good reason. Termites, beetle larvae, grasshoppers. Not only were they high in protein, they were reliable. Unlike big game bugs, were available year-round. Cave art in Spain even shows humans harvesting insects. Fossilized poop confirms it. Insects were a regular part of the prehistoric menu. And fun fact? Over 2 billion people today still eat insects. So maybe the cavemen weren't so weird after all. Meat gets all the attention. But plants were the real MVPs. Wild tubers like yams and cattail roots were calorie-dense, reliable, and everywhere. Tough? Sure. But then came fire. Cooking changed everything. It broke down tough fibers and unlocked starch, turning bland roots into digestible energy bombs. In fact, cooking might be what triggered our brain growth 800,000 years ago. Sites like Shanidar Cave show that Neanderthals even seasoned their food with wild herbs. Yes, you heard that right, prehistoric cuisine. And then there were the mammoths. Not just legendary creatures, they were mobile supermarkets. The Clovis people in North America relied on them heavily. One mammoth could feed dozens of people for weeks. The bones made shelters, the hides made clothing, the tusks, tools, weapons, art. Chemical analysis of a 13,000-year-old child's remains in Montana showed that 40% of their diet came from mammoth meat. These giants didn't just feed families, they powered the great human migration across continents. Winter was brutal, and fresh food wasn't always an option, so early humans became food preservation experts. They dried meat, smoked it, buried it in frozen permafrost pits. They rendered animal fat into early versions of butter, storing it in animal bladders, airtight, long-lasting, high-calorie gold. We used to think cavemen lived day to day, but no, they planned for seasons, droughts, lean times. They weren't just survivors. They were strategists. You might wonder, how do we know all this? It's where science steps in. Stable isotope analysis tells us how much plant versus animal protein was in their diet. Hardened plaque on fossilized teeth called dental calculus traps, microscopic food bits we can still study today. These tools show just how diverse, regional, and seasonal early human diets really were. Forget the one caveman diet. Coastal people ate shellfish. Inland hunters chased mammoth. Others lived on roots, nuts, bugs, and berries. Diversity was survival. What you eat today, it's shaped by what they ate then. Your ability to digest starch, evolution, your love for fat and salt. Ancient instincts. Even the shape of your jaw and hands adapted for cracking bones, using tools, peeling bark. They were the result of brilliant adaptation, and they made us who we are. Prehistoric diets weren't random. Next time you bite into a protein bar, sip bone broth, or read a label that says paleo, remember this? Cavemen didn't have food trends. They had hunger, wisdom, and wild resourcefulness. They cracked bones, roasted bugs, dug roots, and adapted. They didn't fear the food, they figured it out. And maybe, just maybe, they have something to teach us. About resilience, gratitude, and how to truly feed the body and the brain.